Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Political Job Interview, where I interview candidates running for election. I'm Vincenzo Calla, the host, and today I take on the role as the boss, giving a job interview to today's candidate, Patty Searl. Patty is running for election for Ottawa City Council as a candidate for Ward 21, Rideau-Jock. Thank you, Patty, for your time, and thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here today, and without further ado, let's get this job interview started. So as with any good job interview, I'm going to start off with an opportunity to learn more about Patty. So first question, Patty, is can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your story?
Yes, for sure. Do you have a Kleenex available? This story actually, and it leads into some of the other questions as to why I'm running and why this is important. So 2020, I think, changed the lives of many of us. It changed my company. I ended up leaving Health Canada after 20 years. I moved into full-time running my own award-winning residential cleaning company with staff. When COVID happened, I ended up losing my stepdad to stage 4 lung cancer in May. Shortly thereafter, I lost my own biological father with cancer and complications and went into a full cardiac arrest. And I was asked to make a decision. So fast forward, everyone in my company had quit to never return. The last 2 years, I have been doing everything solo, so running as well as operations and keeping the company going. When I heard that Scott Moffat for Ward 21 was not running again for City Council, I thought the opportunity just basically presented myself. I was not looking for something else. I was basically grieving and in autopilot and just living my life. I've been a resident of Ottawa for 25 years. I went to Carleton University, graduated from there automatically, not automatically, but I got into Health Canada in and around 1999, 2000. So I have been a project manager regulating pharmaceutical companies for decades. I decided that that was no longer the direction that I wanted to proceed. And like I said, I went into my own company full time. So that kind of in a nutshell, the last 20 years and how 2020 really impacted me to proceed and enter my name in for the running to be a candidate for Ward 21.
Well, my condolences on the loss of two very important family members, and losing people is tough, and especially in a short time, in a time of 2020 where there wasn't a lot of, you weren't allowed to go out and spend time with your family, and it was definitely a tough time for sure, and definitely a story that a lot of people are familiar with. A lot of people's businesses were impacted directly because of COVID, and yourself included, and now you're running for council. And I wanted to continue on that and asking, why did you decide to run for council?
So just like many others, and I actually spent the morning with much of the current council at the Plowman competition in Ashton. So I was driving a tractor this morning. And when I looked around the field, because we were in a farmer's field plowing, I noticed the different walks in life that were there. And I thought my voice as a City of Ottawa resident is as important to be at the City Council table as anyone else. So that is why I put my name in.
Well, definitely so important, and being able to share your story and share your experiences and getting the experience of so many others and bringing those to the council table, whether you are just running for the council or whether you win in October, is just so important. So we're going to take a bit of time now to talk about the job and what Patty brings to it. So the first question is, what experience do you bring to this job?
Mhm. So as I mentioned, I have 20 years worth of federal government experience being a project manager at Health Canada. I regulated pharmaceutical companies and licensed them along with the medical device component of importing and exporting into Canada as well. I worked quite closely with Border throughout that. Not only that, I have an extensive background with emergency preparedness. I have always been on the Federal Occupational Health and Safety Committee, and I take great pride in the safety and emergency and making sure that Canadians as a whole were safe with the pharmaceutical products as well as the medical device components through that. Along with that, I do also hold a top secret security clearance, and I was supposed to actually help with RCMP and the firearms unit. And I want to tie into this because prior to working at Health Canada, I was going to proceed as becoming a police officer. That didn't come to fruition, and I chose the different path. However, OPS as well as Halton Regional Police Department have held a big part in my heart and my soul. And because I didn't become a police officer, I have volunteered extensively with both of those departments, with home security, safety, personal safety. And I was a board member for Ottawa Executive Neighborhood Watch Committee. And I actually oversaw and developed all of the Ottawa's neighborhood watch and safety plans with the Ottawa Police Department, the city, and a lot of community organizations. I have been a director in a number of community associations throughout the city. So I think that in itself, bringing to this position is very important, especially right now with break and enters and car thefts and personal safety, especially in the rural community where I live.
Well, definitely some important stuff there, and some stuff that I'm sure we'll talk about in the next segment when we talk about accomplishments and such. And a lot of issues that a lot of people are thinking about right now and experiencing with car thefts and break-ins like you were mentioning. And I wanted to continue on that point now and ask you, what sets you apart from all the other candidates who are running in that for that position?
So more specifically, I have, and what makes my experience really unique is although I live in Munster and I'm now considered in the rural area, I have lived in the Glebe and Alta Vista, and my husband lived in Riverside South. We spent a lot of time as well in different areas in Barrhaven. So I'm well aware of rural issues, but also urban, and how those urban issues, concerns, and dynamics can be brought to improve rural. Although it's not the same. Most of us rely on our own vehicles for transportation. So transportation, it's not as easy as in the city where you're jumping on a bus, and a readily available bus and going anywhere or stuff like that.
Well, definitely some good experience in being able to know those urban, suburban, and rural issues all together. Because even though if elected as a councillor for Rideau-Jock, you'll be serving the needs and priorities of your constituents at the council table, but you'll also be working with other councillors on plans and motions and on committees that talking about those issues that are important to different parts of the city as well, and having that experience is important. So part of serving as an elected official is serving the people who elect you. So here are a few questions about how you want to serve the people. So the first question is, what is something that people you would like to serve need that you would like to get done if elected?
So we've already talked on OPS and greater police presence in the area. I think another thing is school safety and getting our kids to and from schools. A lot of individuals in the rural area rely on school buses. So road safety and their safety, and also safe school zones, is definitely a priority. With the 3 kids that I have, my little guy goes to Richmond, so rural, but also the other two are walking and taking the bus in two other wards, in Riverside South and Barrhaven. So I'm keeping my eye on all of the different wards, all the different dynamics, how the school and OC Transpo is working to accommodate them, but also the awareness of what's happening in our ward. Roads is a huge issue. We don't, like I had already mentioned, we don't have the privy of transit out here. Our own personal vehicles is our transit. So the roads to and from, and making sure that they're safe and reliable and maintained is very, very important. One other thing that is a major priority with me is Hydro Ottawa. I would like to be more engaged with that and ensure that the communities in rural have emergency preparedness plans and that the community association leaders come together in a more strategic manner.
Well, definitely a lot of issues there that that are important to your ward and to the people there as well. And I just want to continue on with the last question now, which is, what is one accomplishment that you have achieved that demonstrates why you would be a good elected official if the people were to choose you?
I think the proven success through my dedication and commitment as a public servant. I've spent my whole life serving individuals in that realm. And then the empathy and care that it takes, and trust, because I had a top secret security clearance, the company and the corporation that I have run, actually this month, we just had a lifetime sales of $1 million. How specific my company is, it's more aligned with serving military and CSIS and RCMP and emergency personnel in the city. We know that trust issues and allowing people into their specific homes is a hot topic for them, and they may or may not allow anyone into their homes. So the trust that is upon me, I highly appreciate and recognize the importance of. And I think that in itself, running a successful business, especially through what we have been, and to come out on the other side. But having said that, the community that I have also understands that it may be a stepping stone for me to be a greater influence and a greater leader within the city council and having a bigger impact in that role than what I've currently done.
So thank you, Patty, so much for joining me today. It was great having you, and I'm sure the viewers have enjoyed hearing what you had to offer to them. Election day is October 24th, 2022, and if you liked hearing what Patty had to say and live in Ward 21, Rideau-Jock, you have the opportunity to vote for her on Election Day. Check with your local election officials for more details. To stay updated, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, VC Productions 25. Check out my website, VincenzoCalla.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, and choose to get notifications here on YouTube. The political job interview is a VCalla production. So until the next video, I'm Vincenzo Calla, signing out.